All right. All right, 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 all right. We back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I know I gave y'all horrible display for Friday Night BS. Well, not even Friday Night BS. Excuse me. Just the BS that should have been done on Friday. But needless to say, I am working on a lot of things right now because I still have a shit ton of content to do and get things done. And I will take the blame for a lot of things not coming out in its precise order because, I'm running the channel by my damn self. So please be patient with what I have going on. I seriously do appreciate everything y'all do and everything that y'all do for the channel. And I'm grateful for the 1.41k subs because it is greatly appreciated. Also, thank you YouTube for my beanie. So hopefully the next stream I will find it. I have my light together, I have my shit together, and hopefully you get to see the beanie. But let's not waste any more time because we're in the 9 o'clock hour. We only got an hour of Friday night, not Friday night, but the late night sneaker talk show. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. See, this was the camera angle I was looking for earlier, but I didn't see it. So I will personally take the blame because y'all know me. I don't like having my face all in the open and shit. I'm ugly as fuck and I don't like it. It's tacky. But needless to say, hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody's okay, going great. But let's get the show started, ladies and gentlemen, because this is about this time. And I'm just gonna start off with a sneaker first, and then we're gonna go from there. And just keep it rolling because at the end of the day, that's what we gotta do. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the content. Hopefully y'all are appreciative of all that I do, the shorts, the videos. Hopefully I get to see the lives. Hopefully we have more projects coming in. Like I said, I'm spending most of June, the last week of May and most of June either filming DreamCon, getting that stuff together. What else I'm doing? I'm filming DreamCon. I'll be there. Probably interviewing a few other media people and posting other content that I have not finished because I have a back catalog. I have a back catalog time wise as long as the first 6 Star Wars movie. So yeah, saying that says a lot. So therefore, let's cut my bullshit out and let's get started with the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first shoe we have is I was about to say something totally wrong. The Adidas Samba Juventus for the soccer club. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I likes the black and white, but the pink at the bottom. That pink at the bottom. Let me say it for the people in the back that ain't hearing me. The pink on the bottom of the shoe is probably the Peacemaker. That piece de resistance, that art piece that makes you wonder, like, hey, and guess what? If you are liking this shoe as much as I am, well, ladies and gentlemen, they're on sale right now. They're out right now for 110. You can't beat that. If I had to give this shoe an honest rating, an honest solid rating, and I wish they'd give you white laces as well. But that's me being greedy. That's me wanting more. So if I had to give this sneaker a rating, and I mean honestly, like give it a genuine rating, I would give it a 2.8 out of 10. It's not a bad shoe. It's a Samba. You can't go wrong with a good Samba. But I mean, can I just be real for a second? You can't go wrong with a good Samba, but at the end of the day, I've seen the leather Sambas in person. I really like them, so I really hope in all of its entirety that these Sambas are on point. All right, I'm gonna try to be better with diversifying brands when it comes to the channel and doing like a rotation of brands, but I can't do that right now because I get news as we quickly get it and go from there. But ladies and gentlemen, something that you don't see often, you see the player shoe made the conference final, but not the player. Ladies and gentlemen, and no, that was not shade to be shady. I'm just saying that Jalen Williams' newest Adidas Harden Volume 9 PE shot by, JoJo. Thank you for the photo at the Western Conference Finals. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, just like looking at it, I like the colorway. I like the two-tonedness. I know it's OKC, colorway, but I mean, it's a nice colorway. Like, don't really care too much for everything else, but that colorway is nice. It's actually nice. And I feel like the two-tonedness of the shoe actually makes you appreciate that this is a PE more than just a regular sneaker. Like, if I had to give it a rating, this would be a 3.2 for me. Like, this sneaker is a passing sneaker. Like, I mean, the blue laces, the orange front to the dark blue back, I mean, you can't go wrong. Now, I want to know how long these shoes last, because people in the comments have been telling me that most hardens after like a good wear and tear will start to crinkle up and it will start to depreciate the shoe. And I honestly want to know. I honestly want to know. Give me a second. Moderator. Privileges. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching the channel, you're watching live, we have a super chat going on. $2 super chat for our moderators' privileges for their channels for the next few coming streams. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot more streams in the summertime. So right now we got the super chat. So if you're seeing this video when it's not live as it is now, then let me know and then we'll figure out some ways to, help out with the channel and help with the growth of the channel. But like I said, I gave the shoe a solid rating. I have no problem with it. If you have a problem with it, let me know in the comments below. All right. Hopefully everybody's week is going smooth because I am just ready for this week to end. This week has been whooping my ass, and it's been whooping, especially after the heat wave this past week. It's been whooping my ass, and I'm tired of it. I promise y'all this week will get better, hopefully. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Dang, tomorrow is Wednesday. I just realized tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm doing this show a whole day early just so I can really get stuff done. Ladies and gentlemen, Nike is bringing back the Air Griffey Max 1 Varsity Royal. And I hope I said it right without looking at it. Now, I will admit I'm glad of a retro Griffey coming back out in the modern era. I'm glad that they're keeping Griffies around, honestly and truthfully. But I want to say this. I want to say, hopefully, that with all the hype of a lot of sneakers coming back out and everything like that, I'm grateful that we are having, more and more retros coming back out. But even now, it's just like, damn, y'all really trying to get in my pockets before these tariffs get bad. And even then, it's kind of like, I'm glad that we're getting a Griffey in this era. Like, don't get me wrong. Normally, most Griffies will always get a high rating from me, but I'm just gonna be fair about it. I don't want to be extra about the Griffies. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna still, do what I can and appreciate the shoe, but I mean, come on, it's a Griffey. You're gonna it's above a 3 automatically, like hands down. It's automatically above a 3. But for those who never wore Griffies, you'll never understand because Griffies are really comfortable the second they're broken in. I have a pair of South Beach Griffies from 2012 that I bought in Alabama, and I'll make the story short. They're still wearable to this day, even though they're like the leather is deteriorating, but they're still comfortable as shit. So don't knock a grip. Don't ever knock the Griffies. The bottom part of the shoe is the most comfortablest part of the shoe, and then you don't really need to even strap it. If you strap it, that's on you. That is your choice to strap this shoe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right. Let's get with it with the sticky wicket. Hopefully we get the next shoe. Ew, just fit the screen, please. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The Nike Kobe 5 Proto Laura Marion away are dropping next year. And it says Ace on the back, so that's already fire. But you got the maroon and silver Kobe's 5s coming out. I am an alum of the Texas Southern University, and I'm saying this as an alum of the Texas Southern University. I am an alum of course. I would rock this shoe through every homecoming from henceforth. This shoe comes out because it is the perfect attire for school colors. So that is me being the most school spirited, HBCU spirited person you'll ever meet. And like I said, I miss my era of Kobe's, and I miss when Kobe's were, highly accessible and they would just sit in the stores. So I'm not gonna tax this one like off of grip. I'm giving it a 3 flat, honestly, and that's just me being down the middle, off the cusp. Because at the end of the day, it's still a solid shoe. Don't get it twisted when I say it's still a solid shoe. And even then, it's like, why wouldn't I want this shoe to make a name for itself? But like I said, that's just me. That's my opinion. Um, I'm going to be very, very, very open with this next topic, but let me just turn this off for a second. Now, hopefully everyone knows that June is coming up next month. And there's a lot of things happening in June. So I'm going to be the most supportive person now. Fit the screen. No, just fit the screen. Fuck it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Nike has already unveiled their Pride collection, or as they call it, Nike Pride by You collection. And for those who are allies of the community, or allies of the gay, lesbian, transgender, the LGBTQIA community, and hopefully Nike doesn't have any more bad blood with a lot of other communities. Hopefully this sneaker can be appreciated. I personally am not that, but I have friends and family that are that, and I'm going to be as supportive as possible. So at least Nike's trying to do something. I'm not saying it's the best and the brightest thing to do, especially with the economical times that we are, or even the climate that we're in. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to acknowledge the shoe for what it is. And it is, it's your choice to make this shoe, and it's your choice to do whatever you want. I am not going to argue or anything. So if you have any hatred or racist banter to say at this moment, and even when this video is separate, you might as well just shut the fuck up, because nobody asked you. Let people have their moments. All right, so let's look at another shoe from the collection, because they have a few of them. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this one would be nice, like, honestly. But I think there's one more shoe in this collection. Yeah. Hopefully you've seen all 4 shoes. I think these are the 4 shoes that you can customize. And when time comes and I find out more details about this, I will leave the names in the comments. But at the end of the day, if you have anything to say about the LGBTQIA community and it is not nothing nice, before we go to the next sneaker, I'm going to say it now. Keep your thoughts to yourself and shut the fuck up, because nobody wants to hear it. Thank you and good night. But needless to say, I'm happy for the collection. It is what it is. You make the best of it and you keep going forward. All right. Now, I want to get this point out the way. And I want to get my joke out the way. Let me get the sneaker. Because I think I had a field day when I said this. And let me fit the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will admit this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I did tell a joke on my shorts. I think I think it was yesterday. I made a joke on my shorts that the last time we saw Wale advertising Nikes, we was in a recession or heading to a recession. And I was joking at first, but then my video got all over 700 views, and I was like, I guess people were really thinking like, oh yeah, he must be really telling that same joke because when was the last time you really saw not you seen Wale really advertise Nike, not Adidas, not any other brands, Nike. I remember he was doing it during the phone policy era of 2008, 2009. Around that time, we was in a recession. But I'm not throwing any shade to the brother. I like Wale's music. I just think it's ironic and it's just pure circumstance that he has a new not a new collaboration with Nike, but he's helping with the marketing and the release of this shoe. And even then, it's just like I ain't gonna lie, they fire. Like I'm not taking credit for them, but it's just random all of a sudden. And that's just me. Like the randomness of it all is probably the funniest thing, especially with the GT Future colorway. Like Wale has been pushing this shoe harder than you think, and if you really just sit there and think about it, it's like he might be on to something. But I'm not trying to be that petty person and not say like, yeah, you a little extra for that. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I am really tired, but the show must go on, and so will I. Because even with the Wale collab, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still gonna give this a freaking this shoe alone, this one alone is probably gonna be a 3.5 for me. I'm not gonna say it hits the fours, but like I said before, I was rudely interrupted by somebody who's texting me and irritating the hell out of me. Yeah, the sneakers are on point, and even then, it's like it's Wale. All right, let's go to the next sneaker. Now we're in the 20. We're done with the first quarter. I mean, the first third of the show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make sure you do check on your friends, your family, your loved ones, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself because that is important. It's about to be summertime. It's definitely for the ladies that aren't in a relationship. It's about to be hot girl summer, and if you're coming to DreamCon, it's really an anime girl summer. So y'all might as well make the best of it. Shout out to Thanos Primal for getting his stuff done. We're working on his new videos. Shout out to Dear Daphne. I'm working on her channel as well. I'm working on a lot of projects right now. So when I say I'm busy, and I don't like my time wasted. So please understand when I say I will be doing a lot this summer, I really am. All right. Now that we got over that part, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta have an honest discussion. If y'all watch the shorts, I normally don't do this, and I promise y'all I try to keep everything shorts and live separate. I really genuinely do. But then it's a moment in time when you see something that should not make a comeback in the year of the Lord Savior 2025 2026 that is coming up. And now you see this and you're like, wait, they're for real trying to bring these back? I'm going to say a lot of things, and I hope they're taking with the true seriousness that if these do come back, this would be one of the most head ass releases. And I promise you when I say this with all of my heart, head ass releases that you rarely would think about. But when you sit there and think about it, it's like, are we really about to head into a recession when we have spinners back on our shoes? Now, for the collectors, this would be, a rare moment to use. So that way you can actually enjoy the sneaker and enjoy, you know, this moment in history, because it'll be what, almost 20 years since these suckers came out. But now that they're actually coming back, or is the world ready for that? I'm just saying this as an honest opinion. I want to know y'all opinion. So let me know in the comments below, how are you genuinely feeling about this sneaker making like a return 2 decades later, when people barely ride spinners unless you with the hood, or people rarely do things like this. So it's something that you really don't expect to see happen, and yet you're seeing all of it happen. So let me know how y'all feel about this, honestly and truthfully, because that's the thing. Because at first, if I thought this was a joke, I feel like this might be really serious. And if it is really that serious, then I promise y'all, in 2026, we about to have a lot of foolish characters making a return. All right. So Anita Kai with Kyrie Irving, got a shoe called the Retro Anita Kai 2 Retro 90s. And it's a real 90s colorway theme for a sneaker. I'm not mad at it. So let me say that off grip. I'm not mad at the sneaker. I think my only takeaway, and I feel like it's the retro. I feel like if you had a retro San Antonio Spurs jersey, then you might understand where I'm coming from, because that would make this fit fresh as fuck. Honestly and truthfully, I feel like you could be fresh as ever with this fit. Now I'm gonna give the shoe 293, but I want to see it in person first before I make a true and honest, unbiased decision. Like I said, we're only seeing really just a teaser, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I still want to. I yearn for more, in my opinion. And by doing that, I yearn for the design and the subtleties of making sure that if the sneaker is as nice as it is, or is it legitly nice as it is, then then this is something that should be worth its while. That's just my opinion. Now, if you have a counteractive opinion, or a fair debate that you want to have with the sneaker, or even with the brand itself, let me know in the comments. I'm willing to openly have discussions. Like most comments, I really do try to get to within the first 24 to 48 hours, depending on how busy the schedule is. But I at least try to respond if you're a real person to your comments, and making sure that as long as it's not out of pocket or anything rude, then we can have that discussion. Because I comment to a lot of videos throughout the day, and I just want to make sure that you understand, like, I'm open to discussions of sneakers. I'm sorry, I go on my tangents every now and then. It's the ADD. If you don't know, now you know. So I should start a show called Sneakerheads with Disabilities, just for the people who have ADD or other disabilities on the live, because that would actually be a creative, conversational topic. But for those who didn't watch the mini stream of the non Friday Night BS, tomorrow I will be with T&E family, Trey from T&E's family. We have an unboxing tomorrow. And ironically, we both won the same shoe, but I didn't keep the shoe because I got bills to pay. So I'm speaking like a real sneakerhead unk, for those who are asking. And so, yeah, I'll be over there to talk to him and to give him a history lesson of why this sneaker, even though it's still in the Nike app, still important to the culture. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's have this discussion now. We're about to go into the 30-minute mark, which means we're almost halfway done with the show. Yes, I know I look bright as hell. I look beautiful while I'm bright. Thank you. I appreciate that for those who are here. But we found out that they are dropping 7 new Air Jordan 11s expected this holiday season. We already knew about Rare Air. We already knew about Gamma. We already knew about Grand Finale. Now we see some other colorways, and it's like, we already know Grand Finale's for the women. We know Rare Air's family size. We know Gamma's family size. You tell me you got 2 purple, 1 Carolina blue, and one other one at the top. Now, I hope this is real. You might be asking why you hope this is real. I'm gonna tell you why I hope this is real. Because I want to see who's gonna try to get all 7 pairs of the Air Jordan 11s. But not only that, I want to see if you really are about that life. Because I know personally, as a sneakerhead and as a person who's living as an adult in the worst possible time to be an adult as a millennial, this would be hard even for me to get if it was all Jordan 5s or all Jordan 6s or all Jordan 8s. This is all Jordan 11s. So that means they're automatically going to be 2 something and up, which means if you ain't about that life, don't put your wallet to the test because you might make a full court press, but you ain't going to make it out of there alive. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's just my thought process. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm already mad that grand finale is for ladies only. That's the first thing. That's number one that upsetted me. So I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, Gamma making a comeback wasn't my top tier Jordan 11. I got my Space Jams in the closet, but it's still a nice shoe. I give it its credit. I liked it when it first came out, and I just didn't think 10 years, almost 10 years to maybe 11 years to the date, they would be making a comeback. That's just my take on it. Do as is, what you will. If that's how you feel, then go for it. But then you got the two. I'm gonna go with the bottom one first because they remind me of the Jordan Futures that came out in, I think, the 2014, 2015 era, like with the Flyknit material, but as a Jordan. And I feel like if you want to call it anything, you can call it the Joker Jordan because it's pretty much a Joker colorway on an Air Jordan 11. But if that's not purple, but if that's fuchsia, it still works the same. With the lime green and the black as well, come on now. Now, if you don't know Jordan Futures, then you don't remember your sneakerhead culture, and that's fine. I understand. But I will say, take a chance and go back and look in the history of the Jordan Futures, and don't tell me that Jordan 11 at the bottom does not look like it. Now, we're going to go to the top purple. We're going to go to the very top one, that purple one at the very top. I'm going to be honest when I say this. I feel like if this is not a kid size only shoe like Grand Finale is, then I am going to die laughing and seeing that somebody's going to wear basically the Blueberry Jordan 11s because it's a two-tone purple. What's a grape and a fuchsia purple with a black. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they did something similar with the grape 5s, the alternate grape 5s, the alternate grape 5s, and it was an okay colorway. I said the shoe, I just haven't worn it. And yes, it's been out for 5 years and I haven't worn it. I need to wear that shoe or sell it, one of the two. But it's just like you're in Houston. You can't trust the weather. It's suede. So you take what you get. All right. Now, if we go to the top left of the 11, I mean, I feel like that one's cool. And maybe that's just me. I feel like this is like Concord meets like the snakeskin, and that's just my opinion. Like it's like a high meeting a low, and in that colorway, it's not a bad shoe. I'm not saying it's a bad shoe. Do not take that what I'm saying away. But the bottom one is basically Carolina Air Jordan 11. And if you have any favorite pair from these these 7, let me know because I feel like as the market gets to the later part of the year, you're gonna start questioning like, okay, is this a purchase I'm gonna be able to make and afford, or I'm just gonna have to get one and done? Ooh, excuse me. Like I said, it's a late night secret talk show, and I am genuinely tired, but still in all, it's not a bad thing. Honestly, I hope some of my viewers from other countries can also hop in as well. I'm probably going to do more for that because at the end of the day, I think even then, it's something that I would want to have is to have my viewers from other countries on here because then and only then you can only make it work and making sure that these sneakers sell sell in the best way possible. And I'm sorry if I'm tongue tied. It's humid, and yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm getting ready for this next sneaker, and I think, like I said, I didn't want to talk about the same shoes I talked on the shorts, but I'm not gonna lie. Like a lot of these shoes are about to be just the same as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we needed to do this, and we needed to have this conversation because at the end of the day, I think this is the most or second most important sneaker on the market that's about to come out. First off, you have another Levi's collab. It's a Jordan 3 Levi's collab. You have 3 shoes, and they all have something significant about them, especially since they're the denim pack. This is what I'm saying by what I said earlier about they're really trying to make sure that your pockets are snatched. I could, and honestly and truthfully, I can go on a full tangent about the sneaker alone and literally be on a whole freaking end the show right after this. Because I already talked about them in the shorts. I didn't give them a rating because I wanted to have an honest conversation about all 3 shoes together. I'm not going to lie. The white ones are my least favorite. But they only my least favorite because the white and the blue at the bottom back heel should have just been either all white on the from the elephant print down, or it should have been hold on. I'm about to go into detail. See, at first I really wasn't trying to go into detail, but now I have to because at the end of the day, you're about to really get a full spill of the sneaker. I honestly don't care if the photo comes out right or wrong this time. I want to get this out the way, just so that way when we have this conversation, we are doing it for the betterment of the channel. See what I mean? I don't like it when it automatically does that. So let's start off with this one. Matter of fact, I'll do myself a solid for y'all. I'm gonna shrink myself down so we can have a better photo, a better conversation about this. I just closed myself off. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at this shoe right here. My thing is like that. So the red on the bottom is fine. The white with the air bubble at the right above the red is fine. The elephant print is fine. But where is that blue strip under the elephant print at the back heel? It really irks my soul because I feel like y'all could have made that white and the shoe would have been flawless. But no. You decided to be lazy. Well, I wouldn't even say lazy. You decided to be extra. And when you decide to be extra, that's where you ruin the shoe. Because I'm going to be honest with you. When I say I see this shoe and it had great potential until I noticed that blue strip, like I'm not even mad about the black tab on the back of the heel. That's not the part that upsets me. It's really that blue strip that doesn't go on any other part of the shoe but right there. And I pray to God if I edit this video in time enough before the shoe releases and people actually watch this channel and actually share this part of the video, that they change that shit from blue to white. That is all I ask. And I promise y'all, I am being as fair as possible. Glasses off moment. I am being genuinely fair when I say I am trying to like this version of the shoe. But I'm trying my hardest, and even then, I still don't like that blue strip. Like, don't get me wrong. At first, I was like, okay, it's cool. But when you really just look at the shoe in its entirety, it's like, it's not even a denim strip. It would be different if that blue piece under the elephant print was denim. I'd be like, okay, it makes sense now. That one blue line makes no flipping sense. And I dare you to reason and tell me how it makes sense. All right. But I'm not done yet. I know I went on a tangent. I know. I could have done better. All right. So then we have the black and red pair. Now, you see what they did with you got a black bottom. You got the red above it. But you have a black strip. The black makes sense. The black works with the shoe. This is why this shoe is better than the last one. You found a way to match it all together and make it make sense. That is the thing that I am appreciative about this sneaker right here. This one actually makes flipping sense. And The first one, the first one, on my honest opinion, is probably gonna get the worst rating. It's gonna get a 1.5 from me, but it's still gonna sell because the hype beasts are just gonna buy it and buy it off of hype alone. So I'm not mad about that. This one right here, honestly, will get the 3 rating from me. This is a solid 3 rating because they actually did it right. They actually took their time and made sure that all pieces of the shoe make sense. But then and only then, when you thought you were done, you thought you was free, you have the piece, the Angrada, the piece of Angrada, the piece that makes freaking sense, the piece of art that actually shows you that, okay, we listened. You have the black at the bottom, you have the white, but you have the black strip with the elephant print above it and a black tab with the white shoe holes and the black pieces. This was the piece. This is my 4.0, my 4.1, my 4.2. No higher than a 4.2. This was the piece right here that made me like, okay, this is the one that's going to sell. If the other two sell, they sell on hype alone. But this one, this is the sneaker I guarantee you will sell. And you're probably asking how. How do you know this? I am a person that likes all sneakers, taste, size, flavors, and colors. I have shoes that are mismatched because that's how they came. I collect random yarn collection from the Roche runs. I have a few Wetas, and I appreciate them for what they are. The leftover remains of a shoe that actually end up being the best pieces of all the shoes put into one. But when I tell you, as a connoisseur of good sneakers, that this one would be the piece of pieces, that the piece of resistance when it comes to finding the one sneaker that actually would sell from this package, it's going to be this one, and I dare you to argue me why. I just went on a whole tangent for y'all because y'all didn't believe I would do it. I have been waiting to let the steam off of these Levi Jordan 3 collaboration since I saw the first news of it. And then you showed me a preview of it. Now you was about to get the smoke. You was about to get the whole smoke. Nothing but the smoke. Now, I'm not going to lie. Will I be the one of those people that's trying to get them? Maybe. I'll try my best to get them. Will I be successful? Lord, if I know, because I truly don't. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try and hopefully help out with the reviews and hopefully have someone that have the reviews. And that way we can do it from there, because at this moment in time, it just astonishes me. All right. So we have a new topic, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go with Adidas right now because I went on a whole Jordan tangent and I think that wasn't popular for the culture. But needless to say, we are in our 40th minute. We're almost done. We're almost closing up the wrapping of this show. But I do want to appreciate everyone who's tuned in. But I really want to get this topic first off before I get my, second quarter spill, my 2/3 spill. So Adidas is releasing apparel and stuff for pets. If my dog was small enough to fit the shit, I would get it for him. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I get it for my dog. My dog is big, so I know they're not gonna make big dog apparel. But I am here for it only because it's so head ass that if you really wanted to match with your pet, you really could. But no. You thought we were done. You thought the dog had the best fit. They made a fit for the cat too. And even then, like the cat fit, I don't shout out to Rookie and Ren because I know they have the cat left and they have baby girl, lovely baby girl. But when I say if I see Nala in this fit, I'm first going to take a picture of it and then I'm going to say, how did it feel? How was the process of putting her into the fit? Because I know she would want to stay still. I know she isn't going to stay still. That cat is like Ken Folk. He don't stay still for nothing. I mean, she don't stay still for nothing. Excuse me. But not only do they have that, they have the bag. You literally have the toady for the animals. I'm not gonna lie. I would get the bag, but not for the animals. Say what you want, say what you will, say how you feel. Let me know how you feel in the comments, but I would not just get this for the animals. All right. And the last piece from the Adidas apparel and that I seen for the animals is they have the collars. And I was like, that's really adorable. Not gonna lie, it's really freaking nice. And I actually think it would be a great apparel package, but it's not for the people who actually, I gotta put this, do actually want to do things the right way, and that's just me personally. But even then, it's like you look at it and it's you're appreciative that they are doing this, but it's not what I thought would go in the market. That's just my point. Now, back to my 2/3 spill. For those who are checking in, watching, make sure you check on the channel tomorrow because we will have a live. I will be back live again. And since I'll do something special for the day of the channel's anniversary, but then have the interview that I'm going to have with Flyer Kicks the day after because that works better for both our schedules. But even then, I am going to be doing a lot more with the channel once this week ends and I finish up a lot of projects. So I'm trying to go into June 1st, ripping and running and ready to go because at the end of the day, I think that's what's best for the channel. And I want to make sure that we're 14. Don't get me wrong. We're 1,400 subs in, but I really want more. And I'm grateful to even have 1,400 within 5 years of the channel. Even though my first 2 to 3 years, I really wasn't as active as I am now. And yes, I do have some regret about it. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of grateful even then that I have the numbers that I have now. So, with that being said, let's go to the next brand, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I talked about this. I think the short already had dropped, but Tyler, the creator, and Converse have released the 7 new shoes dubbed the 1908 program, and it's 3 joggers and 4 knocked ones. And I think I did the joggers on Mondays. I did the knocked ones today, but I'm doing this one because I want to do all the shoes because even then, I'm not gonna lie. Ever since Tyler, and Vance had their falling out, because even then, and even with everything going on, I think he's gonna have a great run, and he's gonna have something with the shoes that allow him to be great. And even with him diversifying his sneaker catalog for the consumer base, I think this is actually a good look for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel like these shoes, if they would have came out during the Call Me If You Get Lost era, would have been slapped, would have been on one. Because the first 2 shoes on the top remind me of the Call Me If You Get Lost era, honestly and truthfully. And even with the sneaker the way it is, I'm sorry if I'm moving around the camera. I am really just, hot, but I'm making it work. God damn it. I'm not going to lie. Like, if I had to give this a rating, I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 rating. But that's only because it's 7 shoes and I'm just collecting all the shoes at once. If you wanted to find out more about, his collaborations with these sneakers, I would say, honestly, go check out the shorts from Monday and today because I'm not gonna lie, like I gave them both ample, decent ample reviews, and that's not even me rating them I just gave the review because I honestly am happy to see the success story of how this is going to happen. But I'm even more happy. I'm even more ecstatic, I should say, ecstatic for the fact that okay, 7 shoes, they're gonna go quick. There's probably gonna be no restock. I'm okay with that, and even then, it's like they're casual shoes. They're fine. I mean, it's a win-win when you really just sit about it and think about it. That's just, and like I said, this is just my takes. If y'all have any questions or concerns of feeling any indifferent to what I say about these sneakers, let me know in the comments. I am here to have a debate, and I'm here to have an honest debate because hopefully, starting June, the show will be a little bit longer and a little bit more thought out. But that's just my opinion. Take it as is. If you like them, cool. If you don't, I understand. It is what it is. Ooh, excuse me. I do apologize for the yawning. I am naturally a tired person. I'm not even gonna lie. See, sometimes you just shut your mouth and good news will come up. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, I'm tired. I'm pushing forward. But I promise you, when I say that I found something new that just popped up on my timeline that really just caught me off guard, I think y'all are gonna like this too. Give me 1 second, I got y'all. Sometimes you can't talk about Tyler without talking about his best friend ASAP Rocky. Ladies and gentlemen, ASAP Rocky got some new shoes dropping with Puma on May 30th. We can't get an album, but we can get some new shoes. He's dropping a pair of the Inhales and the Monsteros. Now, I think these are the Inhales. Yeah, these have to be the Inhales because the Monsteros, and I hope I'm saying them right, because if I'm not, that's fine. Y'all are more than welcome to roast me in the comments. Cool. But see, and I hate it when it does this automatically, but fit the screen. The Monsteros were already nice. I think I did this shoe earlier on the earlier run of the Late Night Sneaker Talk Show, but I like them both equally. I'm just happy that ASAP Rocky's releasing shoes. We won't get an album. That's fine. I understand. You know, you got to make the kids and you got to make the money. But come on, man. Give us a freaking album. If your shoe sales go well, hopefully this will allow for us, the people, to have a freaking album that we can enjoy. But needless to say, people got to get in their creative spaces. Understandable. All questions without doubt. I give the shoes both 2.9, 2.8 just off the bat, and it's not a bad thing to be that. It's just I'm waiting for this release more than I'm ready for this release more than I thought it would be, but I'm waiting to see how it would look overall in comparison to like most of his other shoes and most of the other brands that have like celebrity collabs coming out. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I want y'all to, if you feel like I'm saying something that you don't agree with, don't forget to comment it because it's very important. And like I said, I do read the comments. So, like I said, take it as is. I don't know why my Xbox is trying to shut down. Oh, so I promise y'all, I try to do every brand that I get a chance to do, and I try to be as fair as possible. But when I don't see sneaker news about a certain brand, then I don't want it to feel like I'm leaving it out. So let me just say this off grip first. I'm trying to leave out no brands. But when it comes to New Balances, they have a 90 V6 patent leather available at some retailers, but it's 200 and it's coming to New Balance site soon. I'm not gonna lie, this is more of a fall colored shoe for me because it's too hot to wear black, and I know I'm being a hypocrite because I'm wearing a black Barcelona jersey from 2014. That is fine. I will take my blame for it, but I'm going to be honest at the same time. I think like people would actually like this shoe and appreciate it more, but I feel that this is an honest rating. This is an honest review. This shoe is probably a 2.6 for me just on design and the colorway. But I wish it wasn't as gray as I thought it was going to be. I feel like it would have been more black than anything. Like I said, I wish for a much blacker shoe. And like I said, I am trying to be the most optimistic person. And even then, this one is kind of like I will be optimistic, but that's just me. All right, I think we have enough time for maybe two or three more shoes because I don't want to go on another long tangent again. Because if I do, I swear I would piss a lot of people off if I actually made this like a lot longer of a show. But I would need OBS to be better on sizing and everything, and that's just my opinion. Like I really want OBS to do better on that front. Everything else with OBS is fine. I could tolerate a lot of bullshit. I really can, ladies and gentlemen. But I will admit, like OBS, when it comes to like sizing of the sneakers, is like it's mid. But I do my best. I promise y'all, I do my best to make sure that it's much better than what it is now. Like the progression of the late night sneaker talk show will be better in due time. But we got a couple more sneakers to talk about. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll see y'all tomorrow at the live, and hopefully I have the YouTube beanie as well. Even though it's hot as shit, and I really don't want to wear it. But for y'all, the people, the fans, the viewers, I'll wear it for y'all. So, shit. All right. Thank you. See what I mean? I need to fix OBS in doing this. So, I've reviewed this sneaker on the short. Awake NY and Air Jordan are doing the Racer Blue that drops August 30th, 2025. I'm going to be honest with y'all. At first, I thought I liked the pink. But then you gave me the black colorway. That's close to a spinoff of the original black and blue colorway from 2005, 2006, and giving it away. So that means you got, hopefully, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I say this as a fan of Jordan 5s. Matter of fact, I pray that if the way that A is, this doesn't happen to the sneaker. Like, if you really look at the sneaker, you see that don't get me wrong, these are my grades from 2013, yes. But I have wings. They literally have wings because this piece is already, worn out and, deteriorated out. So I'm praying that with the way that the A is on the sneaker, that it doesn't do the same thing like genuine 5s that already have done it similar like that. And even then, I would actually go for the sneaker. If I wasn't too invested in trying to get Pearl, which is the sneaker I truly want from this year, hands down, like the Foam Posite Pearl, I would go for this as a Jordan 5 sneakerhead because this is still a nice shoe. Like, it's not a bad sneaker at all, but I'm just saying, like, if you really want me to be honest and open and unopinionated about it, I think then you would have to take it to a point that it's like, okay, they're trying something. They're trying to, branch out and seeing if the material will work, because then and only then will make a difference. All right. I got one more sneaker because I think my face is starting to hurt. I think I've been talking way too long, and I probably just need to get some rest because I got a long couple of days left. And I'm going to close it out with this sneaker right here. And I swear, and this is why I don't leave the sneaker on the photo itself. That's why I do this first instead of, just going at it. But I digress. The Air Jordan 14 Black and University Blue, the similar colorway to the Awake 5s, are dropping in 2026, spring 2026. I'm sorry to tell you, I'm not a 14 person. I promise y'all, I am going to be honest with y'all when I say this. But I'm glad they're bringing back some of the most fierce retros of all time. That is my opinion. Like, I am grateful that they're bringing back a lot of retros that are getting the respect they rightfully deserve. Now, if you want to see any sneaker, and I'm gonna give this a rating of 3.8. No, I'm sorry, that's too high. Ooh, 3.5. Excuse me. But needless to say, I think this is still a good thing. I don't like I said, I'm not a 14 person. To each his own, but I'm happy this is making a comeback. That's just me. Now, before we wrap up the show, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. Share, I'm going to be chopping up videos throughout the summer, so you will get back to having a regular scheduled program of videos dropping every weekday at 4 o'clock. I'll also be posting those videos on TikTok, Facebook. I'll try to get back on Instagram and get back into the flow of that, but to each his own. It will mainly be on the sneakers and Stogie side of things, but that's really right before I get busy with DreamCon, because DreamCon I'm going to be live as well, but I'm also going to have a bunch of content as well from DreamCon, not only with the Pocket Osmo 3, but also with my Sony, and since I'm home, most likely my Black Magic, depending on the venue. So just expect a shit ton of content from DreamCon, but I hope y'all do tune in tomorrow, because we will be live tomorrow with Trey from T&E's family. And we have a few other projects going on as well. I'm still, with life this month, lifing for a lot of people, my interviews have unfortunately had to be pushed back. I do take some of the blame, because I could have always scheduled them better, but at the end of the day, I'm working 2 jobs trying to manage the channel and do all of this. So any support that y'all give to me, I greatly appreciate it. But I'm just being open and honest and saying that I'm trying to do the best I can. But I'm not going to let something stop the show. We're still going to keep pushing forward with what we can, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for tuning in. This is Landon Strange. This is Sneakers and Stogies. This is the Late Night Sneaker Talk, and we are signing out. Yeah.